Hi there, podcast and public radio fans. Heath Drusen here, host and creator of the Extremely American podcast. I'm working on season 3, which is an urgent story about neo-Nazi terrorists and how they helped build a modern white supremacist movement, even from prison. Some of their ideas have even made it to today's White House. It's both a gripping true crime story and a timely warning about threats to our democracy. And this time, my investigative reporting is funded by you. To support the project, please make a tax-deductible contribution at extremelyamerican.org. That's extremelyamerican.org. And thanks.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Gemma Gaudette. This is Idaho Matters. The 208 Night Market is an event that highlights food and community in Nampa, and this has gone on for the last 3 summers. With thousands of attendees and more than 100 vendors, you can dig into the char of grilled asada and satisfy your thirst with an aqua fresca. Reporters Chantel Ramirez-Sanchez and Steffi Porto set out to find out why people want to come together despite recent crackdowns on immigrant communities.
Just 20 minutes west from Boise, every Friday and Saturday night, you can find people of all ages filling a large gravel field on the outskirts of town. And what brings them out is
just the experience, the vendors, the new people you meet, the food you try. It's always different every week, so you can never go wrong with that.
Sergio Acuña is the owner of Salsa Chaparrita. He's been vending at the 208 Night Market since 2024.
Last year, when the raids first started, it did decline a lot of customers. It's slowly been growing again, but hopefully everyone's just start coming out and won't be scared anymore.
Last October, more than 200 local, state, and federal officers stormed La Catedral Arena, a horse racing track in Wilder. More than 400 people were detained. 110 were arrested for immigration violations. 5 were charged with federal gambling charges. The stated motivation for the raid:
tonight, breaking news from the small community of Wilder as federal and local law enforcement raid a private racetrack.
But community leaders call it excessive force.
Protests are going on this afternoon as we
The crackdown got national attention, and the fear of an immigration and customs enforcement raid still lingers at large gatherings.
Tonight, we take you inside the raid, the aftermath, and the outcry.
There haven't been documented ICE sightings at the 208 Night Market, but we wanted to know if there were fears in attending a gathering celebrating Idaho's Latino community.
We live in Meridian, and Latino culture is kind of lacking there, so we came here to get some good food and good company around.
That's Colin. He and his wife Carla Lopez just moved from California. They say they worried about ICE because of her previous mixed status.
So my wife is a American citizen now, but initially she was a dreamer, so she was non-documented from Mexico. So in particular, she felt very unsafe.
Lopez says she still worries for other people who might be undocumented. In Idaho, Hispanics make up 13% of the population. In the past decade, it has increased about 25%.
La verdad es que estar aquí siempre como que es parte fundamental y trabajar así como lo estamos haciendo, pues termina apoyando a la comunidad de mucho.
That's Dariel Silva, a vendor for chilaquiles. He says despite the fears around ICE, showing up is how he's supporting his community.
Pero siempre es como está bien estar como alerta de lo que pueda suceder.
And he says people don't feel on edge about immigration agents, but it's good to be alert because anything can happen.
We all come down here knowing that ICE can't shut us up.
Anaí Ruiz is a worker at the Taste of the Caribbean. She says the fear of raids won't bring down what unites people together.
You know when you eat your abuela's food and you just feel that warm and the smile and the whole memories, that's how we...
That connection is more than just food for Ruiz. It's the overall vibe that the 208 Night Market brings to Latinos in the Treasure Valley.
Well, we love it here. We love the people. We love the music. We seeing people come around and tasting our food, seeing a smile on their faces, just warm our hearts.
It's also a place where
For us Hispanics, we come down here, we party, it's lit here.
For vendors like Ruiz, the night market feels like a home where you can find food, music, and people you love.
You are welcome wherever you are.
A feeling that brings people back every Friday and Saturday. For Boise State Public Radio, I'm Steffi Porto.
And Steffi is joining us now to talk more about this. Steffi, welcome to the show. Nice to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so can we just start with a visual of the market itself? Because you said the market is set in a gravel pit. So can you describe for us like what that looks like? How big is it?
Yeah, so the market is on the outskirts of Nampa. So it's like very flat, a lot of field. And then when you walk in, there's a bunch of haystacks and you just see people funneling in from their cars. And then when you walk in, you're instantly greeted by the music and the smells of the different food. And you just see people walking around, some with their family, some with their partners, just having a good old time.
So you said, food, and you can smell that food when you're walking into the market. So what kind of food can you get? And then is there more than food just for sale?
Yeah, so you walk in, you see there's a lot of different food. There's Caribbean food, there's Mexican food, there's people selling tacos and street corn, Korean hot dogs, agua fresca, ice cream. There was a variety of food and desserts. And then aside from food, you could also buy, they were selling belt buckles and little souvenirs and homies merch. So there was apparel and food for everyone.
And as I mentioned in the intro to your story, the market's been going on for 3 summers now. So it seems that it's doing really well despite the ice raid that you mentioned that happened last October. And I know one of the vendors said, that people were coming back to the market. Did you get any sense of like fear of ice at all while you were out at the market and you were talking to folks there?
Yeah, it was interesting because I came in with the notion of thinking about ice, but as I was approaching people to talk to them, that wasn't what was on their mind. They were just there to have a good time, and ice was kind of an afterthought. It wasn't until after I had asked the question, they were like, oh yeah, like there has been ice presence, but when we're here, we're having a good time and we're enjoying being within community, enjoying the good food and the music, that it didn't really cross their minds.
So as you said, some people said, yeah, there's been a nice presence there before. So are there any protocols in place at the market regarding a possible ice raid? I mean, do they have like a plan in place if something like that were to happen?
Yeah, when I was talking to the vendors, it was interesting because a lot of them shared that there hadn't been any communication from the organizers about protocols on what to do if ice were to come and if there were a potential raid. But the vendors themselves had their own protocols where they would immediately shut down if there were an ice raid to happen and make sure that whoever didn't need to be there could be escorted as fast as possible.
I know that there are concerns about ice and ice raids. I was really impressed by the fact that folks felt comfortable talking with you. Because I think it's difficult in the climate and culture we live in right now for folks to want to, in particular, talk to the media, right? To open up about this. Were people hesitant to talk with you at first, or was it because of the that sense of community and everything that they were more willing to chat?
Yeah, going up to people, there was a lot of hesitation from some folks. Some people just said that they didn't like ice and they didn't want to talk about it or explain why they didn't want to talk about it, which is valid. So there was a lot of mixed reactions from people. Some people were really closed off to even hearing about ice. Some people just flat out said that they didn't want to talk, which I completely understand. It's a sensitive topic for folks.
Yeah, rightfully so. So let's get back to the overall vibe of the market, because you mentioned, that it's really positive. I mean, I could sense it listening to your story. Did you feel that vibe as well while you were there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. After the interview, I stuck around and I danced and enjoyed some good food. So it was nice just to be in community and see other Latino folks.
Well, Steffi, I want to thank you so much for showing us this market as well. We've been speaking with Boise State Public Radio reporter Steffi Porto about the 208 Night Market in Nampa. And thanks so much for listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. Do you have thoughts about today's episode? Make sure you email us at idahomatters@boisestate.edu or reach out on our socials. And you can also listen to Boise State Public Radio podcasts, including Idaho Matters, on YouTube.
So you can't see this, but hopefully you can hear it. Behind every Boise State Public Radio podcast is a team working hard to bring you stories that matter. So if you value podcasts like this one, please support them. Hit donate at boisestatepublicradio.org. Thanks.